you all, Farmer Jesse here. I'm headed to Spark Community Cafe. Currently I'm on my driveway. Don't worry, I'm not doing this on the main road. And I've been wanting to put up a video about this for a while, so I'm gonna head to Spark. I'm gonna take some shots of the place, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna kind of tell you all about it. What it is, how we're involved, and all those good things. So yeah, it's opening night. Super excited. Let's do it. Spark Community Cafe is a pay it forward, often called a pay what you can restaurant. It is a non-profit, and it is not the originator of that concept. That concept has actually been used in a lot of places. Most famously, the organization involved is One World Everybody Eats, often called OE. And the idea is to, generally speaking, is to tackle food insecurity in a community, and specifically our restaurant is actually located in Versailles in Woodford County. There is food insecurity in every county in Kentucky. It's something like 1 in 4 children face some amount of food insecurity, and that just means they don't have access to a meal, and often a healthy meal. How we're tackling that, how this concept sort of approaches that, is that it's a restaurant like any other restaurant. You go and you eat the food just as you would anywhere else, and there are suggested prices on the menu. You can treat it like a regular restaurant, no difference. And that's fine, that's great, that supports what we're doing. You can also pay it forward, tip it forward a little bit, as if you will. So you'd go in, you'd have a meal like any other meal, and then you'd tip a little extra, and that money would go towards somebody's meal who maybe couldn't afford it. You can donate a meal. You can just go and buy a card, like a little gift card, and we hand that out to churches and food banks and stuff. And that goes to the food insecure. So you can just donate a meal and say, put a meal on this card, and then we'll donate that to somebody. Another thing you can do is volunteer. So you can volunteer your time, and you can donate that time to somebody who may not be able to afford a meal, or you can volunteer your time to pay for your own meal. And how we're involved is we're bringing the farm to the table in a very literal sense. We are growing food specifically picked out by myself and Chef Isaiah Screech for the restaurant. We're also helping to source and aggregate from other local farms to make sure that the food is primarily coming from farms, because a big part of our mission is not just the food insecure, it's the community. It's to connect the community to the farms, to the agriculture, and to the food insecure, and to everyone. Just provide a space that supports local business, supports local agriculture, supports other restaurants. Other restaurants have supported us, and we're very supportive of other restaurants. One thing that we've known, and it's been studied, is that when you pour more money into local agriculture, it is a really great way to boost the local economy. So that's one thing that we're trying to do, is use this nonprofit to help boost our community. So Hannah and I are the official executive farmers of Spark Community Cafe, and that's our role, is just that aggregating the food, helping to connect the farmers with the chefs, and then of course bringing our own food. But we don't want to supply everything, and we couldn't supply everything, so we're happy to share that. And there are things that we want to supply that we're actually letting other farms do, because it just makes sense to share that a little bit. I also want to mention one of the things that we're doing is kind of closing the loop a little bit. So a lot of the food, any sort of food waste we have, we try to have very, very little, but if we'll inevitably have some. Any food waste we have is going to come back to the farm and then be composted and then put onto a garden that I'm making specifically for the restaurant. I'm calling it my Spark Garden. It's going to be cardboard from our tables and all the cardboard that we brought in, and then it's also going to be food scraps. So that's going to be a garden that is set aside in just a 4,000 square foot plot that's set aside entirely for Spark. But that's kind of a cool element of it, is this idea of closing the loop a little bit. So it's kind of fun, right? So that's the idea. We're just trying to tackle food insecurity in our community and do it with really good food and really great fresh meals prepared by my friend Isaiah Screech. Like I said, the chef, he's brilliant. If you have any questions, let us know. I'm happy to answer any questions. I will try and answer as many YouTube comments and stuff that I can. Obviously, we are wildly busy right now, so I will try. I always try to answer people's questions. I'm crazy busy at the moment. These have been some of the longest and hardest days of my life, and also some of the most rewarding. So I'm very excited about what we have going on. You can learn more information. I'll put all the details for Spark Community Cafe in the show notes. Stop that. Ding dong. I will leave it there. Let me know if you have any questions. This is probably going to be some percentage of this channel is going to talk about selling to the restaurant, working with the restaurant, having that direct connection. We're going to talk a lot about that, so I'll have a more perspective on working with chefs from both sides of it. Something I've always been passionate about and continue to be, so I'm excited to share that with you all. And yeah, Hannah and I both are very excited about this project. So anyway, like the video if you like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more about this stuff. And the no-till market gardening and the beginning farmer series and all the other things we do with the podcast, etc. Also, go check out the Patreon page. That's patreon.com/farmerjesse. Other than that, you all, I gotta move the sheep. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.